All right. Welcome to the stream. Just making sure it's actually up and running. Yes. All right, cool. Hey, welcome everybody. Working on my Mai Shiranui poster. This is the result of the last fan art poll that I ran. We had a lot of back and forth on this one. The options for this one, I'm going to look at the camera when I speak and I'm not drawing. The options for this one were a little bit different than what I usually do. I had Mai on there because I saw somebody else draw Mai and I was like, I want to do that. So that's one I put on there. And then there was Mouthwashing, which I thought was going to be the surefire winner. Because I love that game. Everybody seems to love that game, and I really thought people were going to want to see me do that, but that's not what happened. The Pedestrian, which is a really fun indie comic that I'm a big fan of, and I was thinking that maybe there might be some groundswell in there because those guys are always pushing real hard for that comic. And then Krull, perennial almost favorite Krull, my favorite 80s sci-fi fantasy movie, which came really close this time. And it was Mai and Krull in a dead heat for the entire time. I eventually had to start running the poll on both Coffee and Substack. Substack came out universally in favor of Mai, because Krull actually did pull out the Coffee poll. But Mai pulled all the votes from Substack, so she ended up winning by 2 votes. So it's really like, you want to have influence over these things. The margins are razor thin. But anyways, that's what we're doing today. You can see in the chat, I put a little Q&A. Help me populate the next fan art poll. What kind of stuff do you want to see out of that? I will be happy to take your requests and consider them. And then I'll do them on stream. Spending too much time on the hair shapes, considering I'm just going to end up painting over them. Couple of things I'll apologize for in advance today. One, I appear to be sneezing a lot. I helped my mom move some dusty old furniture, and I'm allergic to dust, so still recovering from that. That was actually over the weekend that I went over to her place and helped her with that. I still have not fully recovered from it. 2, the wind is howling today. It is February. Nope. Still January. It is January in Connecticut, and that means wind. doing this new thing with inking where I start with a fixed width brush, and I'm still kind of getting used to it. It's been working really well on my warm-ups in the morning, but on something like this, I'm wondering if I should have a little bit of finer control from the start. Even so, it does kind of help to just like having the fixed width brush just makes it really easy to decide where you do want a line, where you don't want a line. Because you'll slap that line down on there and you can tell right away that it's like, that's too much line. So this was originally something I wanted to have done in time for Mai to appear in Street Fighter 6, and I think I'm actually going to make it this time. It never happens. That's annoying. Another thing that working this way kind of shows where I have weaknesses in the pencil. Again, when you're just throwing down a big bold line, it becomes very obvious where kind of like your weaknesses in construction are. Because if you put something down, you're like, these lines are nice and thick, and they're really visible and really readable. And really just right away I can go, oops. I've been doing these warm-ups in the morning as part of my art for my spot art packs, which I sell on my Ko-fi page. But just taking like, an hour to do a character portrait and learning a little bit about, time management and process improvements. All the stuff that you don't want to do as a hobby artist, but you do want to do, for your professional stuff. I talked a long time ago about there's a cartoonist that I know. I'm not sure if they're active anymore, actually. But they did this really overwrought post. I think it was on Facebook, which tell you how long ago this was. But because I was still on Facebook, so it must have been pre-2016. But they put out this really overwrought post about essentially what's the difference between an amateur and a professional. And it was just like really obnoxious, stupid BS stuff to talk down to amateur artists, which is like, those are some of the best artists in the world. Why would you talk down to those people? Anyways, I really feel like the difference is that when you're doing it for money, you have to be able to do it quickly. And that's like not a value judgment at all. It's just like most artists freelance, so it's like you want to make money at it, you need to be able to do it fast so that you can get on to the next gig. And it still has to look good, obviously. That's why I love artists like Lukasz Kowalczyk, who I feel like I talk about on every stream. But somebody who I really do look up to, and who is, you know, a really great cartoonist, and I'm really proud and happy that I know him personally, on the internet at least. We've never met. He lives in Poland, but just keeping up like these quick little rules and limitations and practicing those things to improve your work overall. And like his hardest rule, which is to say the rule that he sticks to the most, and the one that I like the best, is that your art has to look good in black and white. That's like the first rule. If you can conquer that, then everything becomes so much easier. Because it's really easy to further elevate art that looks good. It's more difficult to fix art that doesn't look good at a later stage in the process. And so like the easier what I was saying here, the better job you do at earlier stages in the process, the easier it becomes to continue to do a good job later on. So if your pencil's really strong, then you're not going to have to try as hard on your ink because so much of the brain work's already been done on your pencil. If your ink is really strong, it looks great in black and white. It's really easy to follow up and finish up with tone and with and you know make all of your lighting work. And if your tone is strong, then it makes it really easy to do your colors because all you really need to do is lay in flats and a couple of highlights and you're good to go. So trying to meet those limitations, set limitations on how you work, and then, you know, still hit that that quality of finished product, given a strict time limit, or strict circumstances. That's important for professional development as an artist. So that's what I've been working on in the mornings. I might start streaming it at some point. I'm not gonna talk during those or have my camera on because it's usually early in the morning for me, and I don't want to be on camera. I don't need any more reason than that. But if you want to come listen to the music and watch me silently work, maybe I'll start broadcasting those. I've had a couple people filter in since I started, so as always, if you have any questions you want to ask me, let them fly. If you have requests you want to see me do, little question and answer thing up there. Throw in your suggestions for what I should do my next fan art poll. If you have original content that you'd like me to draw, I take commissions. Check me out on Coffee. It's not what I did. I have switched to the pressure sensitive brush. Probably going to switch back in a second. So her belt thing here, it's not an obi, but it's, I don't know what you call it. The thing she's wearing around her waist, put these little details and kind of embroideries on it, and I want to make sure that I'm gonna black this out, and then I'm gonna come back and do those with white out, essentially. And I can't forget to do that. I did that on a Marukiri drawing, my holiday drawing. Her belt was supposed to have all kinds of detail on it, and I forgot to go back and do it. And I feel kind of bad about that because it was cool. So the other thing I do is when I'm doing feet and hands, typically I will draw the torso of the character, and then you draw the feet and hands where you want them to be positioned, and then you kind of connect everything together with limbs. And I do that, well, I don't always do it at the inking stage, but sometimes I do. I'm doing it right now. Just for the feet, though. Hands, I've already done. What I'm doing here. Swear to God, I've done this before. I've never held my pen correctly. I'm not entirely sure that it's too late to change my ways, but I'm not going to at this point. Put in some really stylized lines on her legs that are more guides for tone than they were for ink, and I just have to kind of remember which ones are which. This is also the first illustration that I've done where I'm using a little background template. Alejandro Bisetse, who's another artist who I think I talk about on every stream, recommended this to me. Just essentially to get over the idea of there being a blank page, just to put something down. And so I just made this little thing. Some nice rounded corners, a little golden ratio in the background. It helped. It did, actually. I love taking time on art, but I also love getting things done quickly. I'm impatient, you know? Patience is a big part of art. Most of the main figure lined out already. Just going quicker with the fixed width. I will need to get in there with the pressure sensitive one and do some detail work, but too much bow. One great thing about drawing fighting game characters is they usually have excellent model sheets that you can work from. In a friggin' digital landscape where finding reference images has become impossible, thanks to the pollution of AI crap. We still live in a world where all those old SNK model sheets are hanging around. It's like, yep, hey, there it is. Or even more recent SNK model sheets. So there's a King of Fighters. There was a King of Fighters game not too long ago. I own it. I'm bad at it, but I own it. I show up to buy a lot of fighting games, and I'm not good at any of them. But I want them to keep being made because it's my favorite. A lot of my favorite character designs come from fighting games, so. I will continue to support that industry. I also did these little flower designs. I feel like her costume sometimes will have like little flower details on it, and I wasn't about to actually draw that on the costume, but figure we can get the theming in there. All right. Mai, of course, being a famously curvy character. And so a lot of that comes out in the toning stage. You have a character where they're supposed to have like a lot of soft curves. You know, you don't want to put a lot of hard lines on that. Lines are rough. I've talked before about how lines kind of make your characters look older. You put lines on the face, you want your character to look older, which is why every Rob Liefeld character looks like they're 90. So with Mai, we really want to, yeah, even that is a little much. We want to shape her a lot in that toning stage. And we can put fabric folds on her costume, which is what I'm trying to do right now to not super great success. But I don't know, I want to start laying down some tone stuff soon, just to keep the drawing moving. Not going to be a lot of spot black on this, more than what you already see. Okay, we got like the tassels on the fans that I need to throw in, so let's do that. Have this just... Ooh, that one. I could have done that one for the Pope. I would have been happy with that. Meaning to write more, a couple more lo-fi tracks, so I am beholden to no one. I found some good dungeon synth that is royalty free, but it's not really thematically appropriate for streams like this. If anybody has a good line on a lo-fi channel that is royalty free and doesn't use AI art, or AI music for that matter, let me know, because I'm looking, and I have no problem, buying the album, because I know a lot of artists are like, you can use my music, but you have to buy the album. It's like, yeah, I got no problem doing that. I'm just looking to not get DMCA'd and have a little more variety in music. Honestly, more for my benefit than for anybody else. trying to figure out what this curve is supposed to be. Maybe it's nothing. I'm going to do the flowers on a separate layer in the event that I want to fade the entire flower into the background. Something like this just kind of being a design element. I'm obviously just kind of doing this quick. Yeah, I think I definitely am going to end up fading those, so. A lot like I did for the sketch, we'll end up filling those in gray, and then oh, I'm on the wrong channel for the chat. Chill Hop lets you use their music if you credit them in the description. I don't think they're embracing AI at all from what I've seen. That's good to know, as I've heard of that channel. So, thank you. We'll look into that for my next one. Yeah, it's always really disappointing when so I've gone through a couple of lo-fi channels that I really liked that just like you wake up one morning and oh look, a bunch of AI thumbnails. Hooray. Straight in the garbage. I can't even remember his name. But there was yeah, it's so gross. Yes, absolutely, it is. It's disgusting. And like, I can't remember. I can't even remember his name at this point. But there was a comedian who I put up like tons of shorts, and I used to watch every day at lunch. I used to watch his channel. And then he started using AI thumbnails, and it was just like, nope, unsubscribe, block, see you later. Don't even, like I said, don't even remember his name now. Oh, Mishakes, I'm reading all of your messages like I don't know what's wrong with me today, not being able to read the chat, but just need to link my YouTube account to Chillhop's website and they won't strike me. Cool. That is some very useful information. Also, thank you for joining me on the stream today. I used you as an example in a previous stream where I was telling people that Imprint does international shipping. Just like, 'cause I know somebody ordered them and sent me pictures of them on the wall. Really thick because I'm really zoomed in. Alright, enough flowers. Is that really line art done? Not quite. Okay, a couple of places, a couple of things we want to do here. This might be the only stream this week. I don't know, I got some stuff I need to catch up on, so it's going to depend on whether or not I feel like doing that live. We're going to need to jump into toning because all this white space is bothering me. I want to fill it in with black lines. I'm going to have to suffice for filling it in with gray lines. Personally, I've been getting a little bit of sick joy from seeing all the AI stocks plummet in the last day or so. Yeah, no kidding. I wish it was something besides a new AI company that was making that happen. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to take the wins where you can get them. there are so many people out there that are like pushing the narrative of like, AI's here to stay. Better get used to it. And it's like, well, it sucks at literally everything. So maybe it shouldn't be here to stay. Oh no. I did that thing that I like to do. We got layer confusion. We got layer confusion over here. See, nobody cares. Luckily, it's pretty fixable. Clip Studio is doing an awful lot of auto-saving today. It's not here to stay. They want us to think that so we get bullied into using it. Absolutely. That is 100% what is happening. The number of times a day that I have to have my phone tell me, "You got AI, you want to turn it on?" No. No, I do not. Never. Okay, tone time. So actually, I think I want to bear with me on this. I feel like I can make this look cool. I was reading this in a behind-the-scenes feature on an old Lara Croft Tomb Raider comic. That they always did like a really thick black lines on her legs. And I'm seeing if there's a way that I can get this shape I want to work by doing something similar. Yeah, no, I'm very jealous of the EU and GDPR. Really no follow up to that. I'm just jealous. Y'all have really got it on lock. now we need to gray. All right. Do this in my traditional fashion. Oh yeah. Shake says, visited my family for Christmas, presumably in the U.S. where I am, and generally couldn't believe how pervasive it was. Yeah, it is everywhere. Trying to just be forced into every facet of everything that we have on every device, and all of it is useless. It'd be one thing if it actually was effective at doing anything. Like, then there would be an actual debate of like function versus resource drain. But it's not even that. It's like there's literally no upside. Yeah, solution searching for a problem. Absolutely. Did I do this wrong? Maybe. That's in the general vein of what I'm talking about. I think that this black line might be a little much. Let's see, like if we're to I'm gonna lock in this leg, and then the rest of this thing is gonna just come together. Become kind of obsessed with doing like this cool serpentine shading on legs. It's found its way into a lot of the Marakura stuff. Marakura returns on 131. Hey, Global Comics, Comic Curie, Namikami. If you read comics somewhere else and you want to see it there, let me know. I am beholden to no comic site. Only place I won't put it is Webtoon. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm trying to figure out where I picked it up. I feel like it's a Murata thing. I feel like it might have been One Punch Man. Turn off this layer so I can see what I'm doing. Translating the kind of soft shadow shading of the pencils to the hard light that I do at the tone stage. A little bit of a challenge, but it's the opportunity to do cool little fades like this. I did do some experiments with soft lighting around the holidays. And my conclusion was, I don't like it. It was something that I've always kind of been like, nah, I don't really like soft lighting. I don't like soft lighting's not the right vocab word. I don't like airbrushing, that technique. It's not my cup of tea. But then I was like, oh, put my money where my mouth is. I'll try it out. And I tried it, and I didn't care for it. So here I am, hard lights for life. Just looks better with the way that I color things. Interesting because I draw, when I draw Marukura's stuff, obviously she has really well-defined musculature. If you've read the comic, if you haven't read the comic, what are you doing here? Go read the comic. But as I was talking earlier, Mai is a little bit more of a soft body. And we need to kind of keep that in mind as we're drawing her, because kind of need to. I always like to try to maintain like the spirit of the character, because obviously when I draw characters in my style, they don't necessarily look like exactly like you know, the art that they're referencing. But I want to keep the spirit alive. And so Mai's never really been like shredded like Marukiru is. So we want to show that she's like, especially when I'm doing like the abdominals and stuff like that, we kind of want to show that the muscles are there. We don't necessarily want to really bring them out too much. Get some folds in the fabric. Should do them serpentines up here too. It's pretty stylized. I don't know. I dig it. I'm all for style. I get like a rim light behind her as well. Everything looks better with a rim light. My goal with this poster is to actually finish it today. We'll see. I don't know if I'll do it on stream, but it'll get finished today. You know, we did a lot already, and I feel like there's no reason that I can't keep it up. I'll be doing this until at least 3:30 today. No one should ever underestimate the power of a rim light. Instant production value. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to just remember how a face works. Hey, that looks pretty good. A lot of times I do the shading on the face and I have to do it like 6 times before I get something I actually like. This is like first time like, hey, look at that. This is coming together too easily. I'm suspicious. Have I finally reached that point as an artist where when something feels like it's going well, it actually is? All right. One of the reasons that here's a dolphin brain moment. This one's been swimming under the surface for a while now. One of the reasons I am excited about Mai being in Street Fighter 6 is because while I'm not very good at Street Fighter 6, I'm better at it than I am at King of Fighters. And I like Mai, so it's like, be cool to see her in a game that I could actually play. Put her in Tekken so I can really actually play. Tekken 8's been out for a while now, and I only played it a little bit with my friends, but I am happy to report that I am still Basement King of Tekken. They ever make a new Soul Calibur game, and I'll really show you what it means to have 8-way movement. There's definitely, you know, a speed advantage here to this really just being a single character feature. There are a lot fewer compositional questions to answer. If anybody were ever to consider commissioning a full body character illustration from me, this is kind of this is along the lines of the image you would receive. And actually, I have a good relationship with a printer now, so you know, obviously you can get digital files, print them yourself, or if you are in a good shipping radius where shipping is a reasonable thing to expect from where I am in New England, the United States, I can ship commissions. And of course, the imprint store is the place to go for international shipping on every poster that I make, either on the channel or not on the channel. I got a lot of stuff up there. Check it out. All of those links, of course, in the description. I am ecstatic that we are actually going to get to coloring on this stream, you know, within the next 20 minutes. I never in a million years thought that we would actually get there on stream today, so. I tell you, this speed training that I'm doing every morning was paying off. Gotta go fast. Oh, I remember the other thing I wanted to say about that. I wanted to talk about Gordon Ramsay for a second. Being somebody who is, like, you know, self-taught and never had an art class or anything like that, I have amalgamated a lot of unrelated wisdom into working on art. Hey, Silver Comet, welcome back. But I was talking about Gordon Ramsay had an episode of Kitchen Nightmares, the old British one, that was very, like, soothing, and you could watch it while you drew, which I did. I'm doing well today. Thank you for asking. I'm actually really excited about how this drawing's coming along, and I'm feeling good about it. But anyways, Gordon Ramsay had this one episode of Kitchen Nightmares where the guy who was running the restaurant was talking about how he was cooking recipes from Gordon Ramsay's cookbooks, and, like, how could you not like the food because they're from your own cookbooks. And Gordon Ramsay said something to the effect of, these recipes in this cookbook are designed to be lovingly prepared over a hot stove for hours in your kitchen as a home cook. They are not for getting out, 6 tops at an evening service. And that kind of thing stuck with me. And I was talking about the kind of the difference between, like, you know, professional art and amateur art. And that's where I was going with that when I was talking about it before, but I clearly got distracted. It's like when you're doing hobby art and when you're doing quote unquote amateur art, amateur meaning for the love of, not a quality judgment, because I think said amateur artists, some of the best artists in the world. But when you're doing it as a hobby, and you're taking your time and you're taking care, every little detail, you can take as much time as you want. And I have a family member who lives in Korea who has been working on the same painting for like 6 months now. Beautiful, beautiful painting. Not done yet. Whereas when you're doing, like, production art, you got to get it out fast. It's got to look good. But you have to, like, kind of develop your rules about what colors you're going to use, what lines you're going to use ahead of time. Turn it into a process. Still an enjoyable process, but a process nevertheless. And these posters that I do on the channel are kind of halfway in between the two. If there's any impetus to rushing, it's all coming from me, because I want to get it done just so I can move on to the next thing. Like I said, I'm kind of impatient, which is a weakness, but I'm working on it. Yeah, I think that, kind of, Silver Comet says it's good that I'm aware of that. Yes, it's kind of awareness of your weaknesses is definitely important. It doesn't automatically fix them, unfortunately, but I want to make a couple of these. I want to black out a couple of these for variety. Yes. That's the business. Favorite character on Bob's Burgers is Mr. Business. Oh, right. There should probably be some areas of white on her sash. So Mai's got this, she's got the bow, and then coming off of the bow is something that is alternatively represented in key art as either being like a big sash or part of, like a fabric thing, and sometimes it looks like hair. I've decided to go the fabric route. I also want to revisit her face, because it was the very first thing I did. And I want to make sure that it still jives with everything. Just kind of thinking my little checklist of what I need to do before I go to the color. How long do I plan to stream today? Probably until 3:30 at least, maybe until 4. I would love to actually get this finished on the stream, so if I feel like I can get a good head of steam going, I might just push through to like 4 o'clock and do that. But I probably will not go after 4. And I just realized that I gave everything in Eastern Standard Time, so if that's your time zone, great. If it's not, 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes for the stream. I am going to try to start streaming on more of a regular schedule so that I become predictable. I do like doing them at this time of day, so. I did an evening one, my evening at least, last week that was pretty good. It was only like 40 minutes long, but we drew a sword, we talked about comic stuff. We had a cool time. Silver Comet, gonna head out for a walk. Alright, have fun. If I'm still here when you get back, we'll see you then. Alright, this is looking like a thing. And I still have to bring the flowers back. Cool. Yeah, I like the serpentine shadows, and I feel like this is going to have a little more staying power as a stylistic thing than when I did like the Kirby Crackle for a week. Especially because even though I picked it up from Murata, I do it differently than he does. So. Say my favorite game. Chat, tell me what color Mai Shiranui's eyes are supposed to be. That's a fun game that I will check in on in a bit. Okay, Mai's going to disappear for 1 second, and we'll sort these flowers out. Brown. All right. I think that was the answer last time, too. This looks really cool. I'm pretty happy with this. Brown or red? Okay. Like a reddish brown. Famous maroon eyes. Man, I almost wish I was doing this at grayscale. I just wrapped on a grayscale comic recently. I don't know when it's going to come out, but the Royal written by John Scobolis and drawn by me. But it's all in grayscale. And it's very cool. I was actually talking to John this morning about it, and we were both kind of sitting there marveling at how well it came out. It's like, wow, this is actually... I know we're the guys who made this, but this is really good. I for sure saw her with green eyes at least once, so who truly knows? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's changed half... Oh, this is... I zoomed in too far and I saw the truth of our world. I'm sure it's changed half a dozen times too. I'm sure that everybody is aware of the Blue Eyes comics thing, but I'm the only one who has a mic, so I'm going to tell you about it anyways. But the reason that so many comic book characters of your Marvel and DC persuasion canonically have blue eyes is because in old school comic printing, they printed CMYK, and they did it by actually layering the cyan, magenta, and yellow inks one pass at a time. So having a character with blue eyes meant that they only had to do one ink pass to get the eye, and the eye is usually so small that they didn't want to try to do layers on that because there was a little bit of offsetting when they would run it through the printing presses. So with only having to do one color, that was the easiest way to color eyes. So that's why everybody has blue eyes. I think it's time for the moment we've been waiting for. Something that is interesting is I drew this with this template, and now that it doesn't have the template, I'm like, oh, I kind of missed the template in the back. Especially if I turn off the golden ratio on it. Like, that's a nice little design element. I think we might leave that in there. Obviously, everything needs to get some white behind it. Nice. Yeah, that just kind of adds a little something. I do like it. And if I decide I want to put something else behind it, I can always do that as well. So. So now I can make it whatever color I want. Alright, Mai Shiranui, orange. That's a good orange. Right around my drawing screen than it is on the monitor, but I like it. Okay, skin tones. This is like half the battle here. Maybe even slightly more than half. Oh, I never did go back and do more with her face. Oh, and I've got some... Oh no, I zoomed in too far and saw the truth of our world. It's fine. It's all fine. There was another place where I saw... Here it is. Is that it? Maybe. Oh, there it is. Here, and this a bit. I might need to pull up a color reference. Hey, that's what phone is for. Friggin' default picture that you search is an alternate costume. How is that helpful to me? It's not. Bitter, and I'm gonna make it everybody else's problem. Alright. figure out something to do there in a minute, but I don't like that, so it ain't gonna be that. Alright, I'm overthinking this. At core, Mai's a fighting game character. Which means we need to keep in mind kind of clarity of figure and separation of parts to allow for optimal clarity of movement. I had one of these things where I tried to mask out the whole figure and to save me time, and I ended up doing such a bad job that I think I probably lost time as a result, but c'est la vie. You know, the orange and white, it's a little Goku-ish. Did Mai belong to the school of the Turtle Master? Maybe. She's actually got a lot more white on the costume than I thought. But this big bow tail thing that she has is like all white fabric or hair, depending on who you ask and when you ask them. See, now that's an issue. A lot of times when I do white, I don't like to do a pure white. I like to fade it down a little bit and get a little bit of the underlying color. But when you do that with orange, it looks like a weird skin tone. So, not really an option. That blue background is really cool. I dig it. Perfect opportunity for some colored shading. Still need to do highlights too, so there's going to be even more going on here. Okay. A couple of things. Get very like pumped up when these things are going well. It's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm actually not sure if the ball is supposed to be yellow. We'll make it like that. That's fine. Looking at this, I see a couple of things I want to do on the ink layer. So I was talking before about the fix with brush and how much like faster that is to use on inking, and it is, as we kind of like proved in the moment today. But one thing it's not super great at is fine detail and making it so that you have like interesting little things like texture things like I just did on her little handguard there. That is going to get lost when you're doing fix with sometimes, especially if you have a chunky fix with brush like I did. So I just want to go and give a little bit of texture to these to make them look a little more intentional. Intentionality is always kind of, our key to success. You can make it look like you meant to do it, then you did mean to do it, and it'll look good. Still having that moment where just like, this was too easy. What did I miss? What's going wrong? But you know what? So far, so good. Oh, I remember I wanted to do a little bit more on the trim as well. Let's get like a nice thick line on this central V. And this is something that I don't do on my morning warm-up stuff, is all the layers of rendering. The more layers of rendering that we do, the more color that we do, the cooler it's going to be. I don't do those on the warm-up ones. I do them on the commissions though, so. Tends to be, if people want me to do art for them, it's because of the way I color it, so always take great care to make sure that it looks very cool. Yes, I am really cruising. I hope you didn't miss too much. I also stopped looking at the chat, so I'm not 100% sure when you said that. Very good, very good. Okay. Skin highlights, eyes, flowers, hair. Because her hair's not black, it's like a dark brown. So I did want to do some painting on that. So we'll do a little bit of that. But we're going to do the flowers. We're going to do some skin highlights. And yeah, we're going to finish this today. It's not even going to take until 4 o'clock. Actually, this is a great opportunity for me to use my mask. Especially when I'm doing highlights. You know, lower opacity white highlights. Turning the mask on ensures that I'm not going to go over the edges. End up with some artifacting that I don't want. Ooh, gotta do the belt too. Too easy. Shouldn't complain. Tone the intensity of that down just a little bit. Might turn it back up later. So we were talking about eyes. And talked about green. And I think we might... Light brown. Pshaw. Maybe we can green them up a little bit. It's just that would set off the orange really well. I'm not one of them crazy eyeball painters, but I do like to give them a little life. Alright, we're gonna do some hair. I think we'll use... I like to get a little bit of kind of a reddish purple in there without turning her into Marukuru. This has kind of become my preferred way of doing hair in an illustration environment. Essentially saving space for it in the ink and then just coming back to do it with digital paint on it, because it's faster, it looks more natural, fewer lines, cooler shapes. More organic. And actually, based on how this is going, I might start doing it all hair, blackout, and then paint up over that. That dark to light's working real well. Is that too much of a jump? Might be. Am I working on the same one? No, I'm not. I am working on a new layer. Like a smart guy. Like a cool guy who's smart and good at his job. So basically, we're gonna render up to white. I'm not sure how many layers we're gonna do. Basically, as many as it takes to get there and have it look good. Should just do all this with the round brush. Round brush gang for life. There's another thing I started messing around with over the holidays was watercolor brush tools. They're fine. Not my cup of tea. If I can do it with the round brush, I'm gonna do it with the round brush, and I can do most things with the round brush. So. Next, okay, as we get into the lighter highlights, we're going to take up less area of the hair. The underlying color is like her true hair color. So somewhere between the maroon and the dark brown we put is like her true hair color, and then the rest is to represent lighting and shine. There's another reason I started doing hair this way is because this was lessons learned from doing Marukiru. Just the way that I used to highlight hair. I try to do like rendering layers on the entire strand that ran the length of the head, and that's just not how hair works. Whipping wind. I hope none of that's coming through the mic. Painting is super simple. Sometimes painting, the concepts behind painting are pretty simple. I'm not a great painter, but if you understand kind of two different things, you can up your painting pretty easily. And one is the difference between dark to light and light to dark. When you're doing a rendering like this, and I think oil paints do dark to light. And like gouache, I think, is also dark to light. Lay down a nice dark layer and then build up to your whites. Whereas watercolor is the opposite, it's light to dark. And that kind of principle is just like, if you recognize kind of the direction you're working either to or away from the light, in whatever kind of art you're working on. Actually, it's helpful. But when I started trying to do digital painting stuff, and mostly I do it for hair, I struggled with that. I'm like, how do people make this stuff look good? And it was like, yeah, just first of all, keep it simple, get outside your own head, go from dark to light. Wow, not bad. Oh, the flowers. Hello, what's going on here? Interesting. I'll fix that with a marker. This is foreground, it could be a bit thicker anyways. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. This looks great. All in one day. 3:38, right on time. All right, we're gonna cut it here. I'm gonna probably put some titling on this. Maybe, I don't know. It might not need it. I might also play with the background. You know, I really did just use my template, which I'm not sure. I mean, it definitely looks better with it, or does it? Okay, I need to think about that. But by and large, a rousing success. It does look great. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. Thank you for joining me on the stream today. Crushed it, absolutely. I really had a good time on this one. I appreciate all you coming out and getting active in the chat. It's always appreciated. If anybody dropped their suggestions for next fan art poll in Q&A, maybe I don't know how to use Q&A correctly. All right, next time. But yeah, feel free to leave comments on the stream if you're watching this in replay. If you have a suggestion for the next fan art poll, or drop it in the chat real quick before we're done. It's not something that I necessarily make it through the fan art poll, because I never know what's gonna win the fan art poll. But we'll at least put it in the poll. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget, Mario Kira comes back this Friday, 1:31. Read the comic. Global Comics, Comic Fury, Nami Kami, whatever you want to read your comics on. It's going to be on all three. As always, leave me a tip on copy if you feel like it. Definitely appreciated. Check out the shop. Lots of new things in there. 315 IC3, New Haven, Connecticut. I'll be there. You better be there too if you're local. Not good. Yeah. It happens. It's whatever. Just you can also shoot me a DM if you're somebody I know IRL. Beyond that, thanks for showing up today, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.